Welcome, welcome, welcome to Epic Live. I am your host, your girl, the sister from another Mister, LaShonda Leslie Smith. You are watching the very first episode of Epic Live. I am super excited to have you all here with us. Listen, not only am I excited, I am nervous out of my mind. Why? Because when we step outside of our comfort zone, we get nervous and we don't know exactly how things are going to pan out, but it's cool. It's okay. I thank you guys for being here. I thank you guys for joining me. And we're going to have a wonderful, wonderful time talking to my guests who are just phenomenal women and a phenomenal young man who's just doing their thing. We want to get into a place where we are comfortable being uncomfortable. Amen. Yes. Listen, I should also say to you all that I am a believer first. So you're going to hear me say amen, hallelujah, praise the Lord every once in a while, every now and again. And it's cool. That's just amen with me, high five, air five me. We're going to have fun today because this show is all about living life and life more abundantly. And I hope that we inspire you each and every week. I'm going to be coming live from these platforms at 7:30 p.m. on Wednesdays. And I hope that you would join me for every single episode. So we have quite a few people who are going to be talking about the awesomeness of their products, the awesomeness of God. And our topic today is COVID coins. The coins, y'all. Okay. We are in a season where we have extra time, where we are able to flex our schedules a little bit more. Now, there's so many people out there who are constantly saying, I cannot wait for the outside to be open up. I cannot wait for COVID to be over. And I can't wait for COVID to be over either, because I want people to be safe and I want them to be healthy. But I also don't want to come out of this season without first having accomplished every single thing that God has given me now the time and opportunity to do. And so we're going to be talking to a few women today who have learned to maximize their time in this season, and they have learned to maximize the coin. Okay. My first guest is Brandy Hayes of Layla J Sweets, and Brandy has the bomb famous banana pudding. Okay. If you haven't had Brandy's banana pudding, and let me tell you, I don't even eat banana pudding, but it is good. Okay. And so we're going to talk to Brandy. I'm going to bring her into the studio with me today so she can share a little bit about how she got started with not just the banana pudding, but with Layla J Sweets altogether. Brandy, welcome, welcome, welcome.
Hello.
Hey. I'm so glad that you can join us today.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. So why don't you tell me, how did you get started with the banana pudding?
Well, the banana pudding honestly came out of when during around the holidays, it was Thanksgiving of 2018. And I was looking for a different dessert. I didn't want to make cakes. I didn't want to make cupcakes. I didn't want to make cookies. And so we are a big sweets family. So any sweets that we have, we are willing to make it. So I asked one of my girlfriends who presented me with a recipe, and I tweaked it a little bit. And of course, believe it or not, I didn't eat banana pudding at the time. So I didn't really know how it was supposed to taste, what it was supposed to look like. But I went ahead and made it. And it was a huge, huge hit at Thanksgiving. So coincidentally enough, I also made it for one of our church's events. And everybody fell in love with it and then asked me if I was going to sell it. And I'm like, no, it's just banana pudding. Like, I can't go into business with just banana pudding. They're like, no, you can't. You really can't. So after that, people kept asking me, are you going to go into business? And then finally I stepped out and I started doing them in jars. And it was a hit after that. Wow. Like literally a success after that.
Wow. So why during the season of COVID did you decide to up your game?
Well, I've been making the banana pudding for a while, but during this season, I'm like, I have some goals that I would like to be able to achieve.
Yeah.
And my husband was like, listen, if you want some of these goals to happen, you're gonna have to put in some work. So I said, okay, well, I went ahead, right? I said, look, let me get down to business. And I said, but I don't know if people are going to come out during COVID. Like Miss Rona, that's what I call her. Miss Rona out here showing out in the streets.
Okay. Showing her behind.
I'm sick of her. Okay, I'm sick of her. So I said, okay, let me just, because people were asking me, they were inboxing me or texting me like, hey, are you making pudding? And I'm like, well, I don't know if people are going to come out during this time because, you know, I want to make sure that people are not being exposed unnecessarily. So I went ahead, I posted on my Facebook page, and then next thing you know, people were like, I want some pudding. And then they'll text me or, you know, send me a private message. I want some pudding. So can you please let me know when you're going to be making your next batch? And I said, okay, here we go. We're going to make these coins. I got things to do. So yeah.
Wow, that is amazing. So talk to me a little bit about the types of banana pudding, because I know you have several different sizes and different flavors, and you have you know, the wafers,
right?
Chessmen, you know, I think the Chessmen cookies are like, you know, when you moving on up, you know, the wafers, that's the struggle banana pudding, right? You know, you ain't got that many coins, but you really love banana pudding, but you make a few more coins and now you could afford those Chessmen, you know.
Right, right.
I have Chessmen banana pudding, so I've arrived. Tell us a little bit about the types of flavors and whatnot that you sell.
Yes, so I have the traditional banana pudding, which includes the wafers, and then the next up is the Chessmen cookies, and then I created a new flavor. So I have a cheesecake with strawberries. You can have that with or without bananas. So those are the three primary flavors that we're offering right now. They do come available. Well, at this time, I'm only doing small pans, but I am planning on going back to offering either jars or having some type of round container.
Okay.
But at this point, it's really just the small pans. For some bigger events, some people have requested a larger pan. So I do have large pans available as well. And we're looking to develop actually more flavors. And I plan on putting a poll up soon. So probably be on the lookout for, you know, testing for new flavors such as red velvet, pound cake, creme de brulee. So, you know, we're slowly getting there with the expansion, but yeah.
All right. Awesome. Awesome. So tell us, where can people find you and find this famous banana pudding?
So you can contact me on Facebook via Messenger. You can send me a private message. I'm very quick to respond. You can also text me, and my number is 585-435-1770. So that is available for you. Again, this is my flyer for a small pan of banana pudding with wafers is $25. For a small pan with Chessmen cookies is $30. And then the cheesecake with the strawberries is $35. And I'm usually very quick to respond. I always confirm with my customers when they would like to pick up. And then I send a follow-up text to you just to make sure you have enjoyed the pudding, because that's the last thing I want you to do is to get this pudding and you have not enjoyed it. So I tend to, you know, I have to follow up with my customers. But yes, those are the two ways that you can get in contact with me. And I accept Cash App, and my Cash App information is the $ Mrs. MRS Hayes, HAYES 1913.
Awesome. Awesome. Now, tell me, do you feel that this has been a profitable season? So you stepping up your game during the season of COVID, has that been beneficial? Have you made more money in a season like this than you did just in a regular season?
Yes, honestly, I have. I mean, again, I've been running this business for about 2 years, kind of informally. But during specifically COVID-19, there's just a special favor I feel that is that God has given me at this moment. And when I had first posted the flyer, compared to generally the number of sales that I make within, I would even say a month, I made within the first 3 days. So it has been extremely fruitful. I have been extremely humbled by all the support, but I know that it was nobody but God that that made this happen, at least at this level, because
Right.
to have this kind of turnaround, and I've been doing this for quite some time. And again, people have ordered from me off and on throughout, throughout the year, but
Yeah.
specifically these last 2 weeks
Mhm.
have just been extremely fruitful. And I mean, I'm blessed. I'm blown away, and I'm amazed by God and what he can do and the promises that he continues to keep to his sons and daughters. And I'm blown away, like literally blown away. Yeah.
That is incredible to me. I just want to reiterate something that she said. She said she has made more money selling her product in 3 days than she would normally make in a month. And I would imagine that's because she has more time, she has more flexibility, there's more people on social media. And so she's using the gift that God has given her is making room for her. And so I would ask you, what gift do you have? What gift has God given you that you have not been using that much? What are you sleeping on right now? Brandy, I want to thank you so much.
Thank you.
I'm gonna have you back in the studio in a little bit after we have our next guest talk a little bit about her product as well. Listen, I'm telling you guys, if you're not doing something in this season, then you are wasting your time, and you should not squander what God has given you. So my next guest is Chantelay Williams of Shant's Kitchen, and we're going to bring Shant into the studio with us today. Hey, girl.
Hey.
How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I am well. Listen, okay, friend. First of all, I don't even know if y'all know, Chantelay is my niece and just a sweetheart. I just found out she could cook like yesterday, all right? And I have been taking advantage of that ever since. But this young lady recently created this product that broke the internet. Okay, they're called the jerk rolls, y'all. If you've not had a jerk roll, and somebody might be asking, what is a jerk roll? I'm going to explain all of that, but all you need to know is they broke the internet. Okay. And so the first time around, my husband and I didn't get a chance to order, and we said, next time Shant is ordering or offering this again, we are going to make sure that we purchase, and we did. And now I have to give up all my Weight Watchers points every time she makes the jerk rolls. So Shant, tell us a little bit about how you got started in business, where the jerk roll, what is that? Where did that come from?
First off, thank you for having me on here. The jerk roll actually came about as a mistake. It was, I would call it a God idea, because I really just could not think of something like that myself. It was just, I had to create something really quick and unique for somebody's birthday, and it's what I had on hand. Why I had egg roll wrappers that day, I don't know, but
it was a God thing.
Listen, it was a God thing. I just wanted to try something one day, but they just happened to be sitting there that day. I put it together, and I just kind of thought to myself, what would happen if I put jerk chicken in the egg roll? And here we are today.
Wow. Using what you have been given, the resources that you've been given, you took the little that you had and you made something great out of it. That is very inspiring.
Yeah.
So tell me, what is it like to be an entrepreneur? And I want to ask you, similar to what I asked Brandy, has this season of COVID, have you been able to generate more wealth during this season? What are you doing with your time? How are you growing your business during the season of COVID?
I would definitely say, just to the first question, absolutely. I've been able to generate, like, just as Brandy was saying, what I would normally make in a month with 2 or 3 catering gigs on a weekend, aside from my regular job, I've made in a couple hours, just from selling out from jerk rolls. Right. So quite honestly, like she was saying, just to echo what she was saying, this is definitely a season of favor. This time period is really important. And if you're not stewarding it well,
there you go.
I don't know what you're doing.
Right.
But for me, this time has been really, really important. Aside from everybody's kids being home, I have my children home. I have my 4-month-old. But when I have them laying down, that is my time to not only get devotion and stuff done, but just to really perfect some recipes for you guys. Just so you have different flavors and such just so I can offer them to you.
So this is a young woman with a full-time job, with a husband, with 3 kids, and yet she has found a way to carve time out of her busy day during this season to generate wealth for her family. Those are the kinds of things that we need to be thinking about. What is in my house? What can I take in my house and generate wealth? Something that we've not really done as a people and for many, many years. And there are so many systematic issues, so many barriers, but now is a time and a season of favor, and we should take advantage of that. So tell us, are your jerk rolls on sale now, Sean?
I know you guys have been waiting for them all day. I am so sorry. They are on sale now. You can start ordering now.
On sale and now.
I waited all day. I'm so sorry, y'all.
Listen,
I'm so sorry.
You heard that here on Epic Live, that the jerk rolls are on sale. These rolls sell out in minutes. Okay, so if you haven't already, you can see her number up on the screen with that flyer there. You want to get on that like ASAP. Sean, are the jerk rolls, are they vegan? Are they vegetarian? Well, they're not vegetarian. Obviously, there's jerk chicken in them. But you have any dairy products or anything in there?
Okay, for the jerk rolls, it can be made without the cheese in them.
Okay.
And so it is strictly just the meat and the cabbage mixture. I can also alter it so the people that don't eat the vegetables can have just the meat and cheese or what have you. We are also working on other flavors. I've already posted the salmon rangoon one. That is for the pescatarians that don't want any chicken or beef or anything else. They have salmon and it's like a crab rangoon mix. I just put that together. We are going to be rolling out another flavor next week called jerk chicken Philly. We're going to put that in there, and cheeseburger roll. So we have a few more flavors, but
don't nobody on this episode of Epic Live want me to lose weight, okay? Y'all just making all this goodness, and then I gotta support. I want you guys to go out and support these young ladies. They are doing amazing, amazing work. I want to talk to you a little bit about what it is like to be an entrepreneur, and I also want to hear from you. How are you keeping your customers safe during a time like this? Because safety is of the utmost importance, and not transmitting COVID. So many people are asymptomatic and they do not know it. So how are you keeping your customers safe?
Okay, so for me, when I prep, I go all the way back down to the prepping. There are gloves and face masks in the kitchen. To be safe as safe as possible, I prep all the food myself. And then the only time anybody else even remotely touches a bag is if there is a delivery. My delivery driver, even to that, we have contactless delivery. So he's either putting it on your porch and communicating that with you. Or
can you guys deliver for an additional fee?
Yes, we do, for $5.
Awesome.
So in the delivery, we make sure that there's some type of communication where we're clear that either you're coming to wherever he is and he's just sticking it out the window, but he still has his gloves and his face mask on, and he's changing those throughout every delivery, because I don't know if you guys know this, but you can't touch everything and still have the same gloves on. You need to change them.
Right.
So just to keep everybody safe. Like I think I heard you say before, we don't want to give people food with a side of COVID. We don't want that.
That's right. No food, no jerk rolls with a side of COVID. No,
we don't want that. So we want to keep everybody safe.
Well, I hope you can just stay backstage in the studio with us as we talk to our next guest. Mr. Lomax Campbell is the director of the Office of Wealth Building with the City of Rochester. So there are some of you out there who are saying, okay, I do have a gift. I'm aware of my gift. I want to be able to offer my gift. Maybe it's food, maybe it's a service, maybe it's some other kind of product. What we're saying today is don't sit on the gift. Don't squander the gift. And Lomax is going to talk to us a little bit about how not to do that. And he's going to tell us a little bit about the services that the city of Rochester offers for those budding entrepreneurs. So welcome to Epic Live, Lomax. We're so glad to have you here. Thank you so much for being one of our first guests on Epic Live. Tell us a little bit about, and make sure you're unmuted, but tell us a little bit about the Office of Wealth Building and the services that people can be offered.
Sure. Well, first and foremost, Sister Girl, thank you for having me on here. I was excited to get the text message earlier saying, hey, I got another platform for you to talk to the people, and so the village can hear from you. So I'm humbled by that. So if I can just kind of briefly overview, the Mayor's Office of Community Wealth Building was established back in 2018 to really focus on trying to redirect wealth building opportunities into the community, to make sure that as Rochester recovers or has been on the track to recover, people that look like us from our communities, from the hood, from the other areas, aren't left out of that process. And so really, I explained that community wealth building is a bottom up as opposed to a top down economic development strategy. Because if you live in a neighborhood, I grew up over in the Beechwood neighborhood on Parcells, we didn't own the quarter stores. We didn't own the laundromat at the corner of Greeley and Parcells. Other folks, other communities did from out of the country. And so really beginning to talk to us about what are the processes and steps to reclaim those assets in your neighborhood, trying to put structures in place like public internet, so that you don't have to come out of pocket to take advantage of those resources, but instead make those public services. Or more recently, we launched the Financial Empowerment Center program that gives free counseling services, financial counseling services to any resident, no matter where you are. There's no income requirement, there's no residency requirement. And they help with these counselors, these highly trained financial counselors, help with things like banking access, credit repair, getting rid of debt, and saving.
Yeah.
And so it's just a number of things, from working with residents to working with small businesses in our community to help them build that wealth from one generation to the next.
Wow. Now, you also have other programs like Kiva. I was telling some of these young ladies about that and how they can use a resource like that to expand their businesses. Can you talk to us a little bit about that?
Absolutely. So Kiva Rochester Kiva itself isn't a city specific program. It was a Nigerian concept, essentially, a West African concept, this idea of crowd-funded loans that another company created, and we decided to buy into essentially the franchise, so to speak, by bringing the program here. So Kiva Rochester is a product that was launched by the Mayor's Office of Innovation and Strategic Initiatives. So my suite mates, if you will, on the other side of the wall. And what it is it allows you now to raise up to $15,000 in 0% interest-free loans.
I'm sorry. Let's slow down for a minute. You said $15,000.
Yes.
At 0% interest, which means when you pay it back, you pay back $15,000.
Correct. And of course, everybody isn't getting 15,000, but
right.
Normally, let's say you're a new business and you've never run a business, and you put, let's say it's a hair-based business, because that tends to be pretty popular in our community, food businesses, beauty, barber, that kind of thing. So you start a hair business, you get your DBA or an LLC, you establish a lease agreement with a landlord, and maybe you personally are able to put $2,500 to $3,000 into your salon or your barbershop to get it going.
That seems reasonable for an entrepreneur.
That's reasonable. So before you spend that money, let's say you apply to go for the funds from Kiva, put into the pot, and what are you able to raise among your friends and family in that pot? Because you don't have a business history or a credit history of paying your bills on time, by being able to get 20, 30 of your friends to put $25 into your pot means that they believe that you're serious.
Right.
And being willing to put up your own money says that you're serious. So let's say you put up $2,500, you get your friends to put in another $1,500, and you were approved for a $2,000 or $3,000 loan from Kiva program. You now have 3 different sources of income capitalizing your new business. And when you pay it back, you only have to pay back what you borrowed. So you pay your friends back and family back, and you pay the grant back that you got, not the grant, the portion that was contributed by the Rochester Economic Development Corporation back. But what you put into it is yours.
Yeah.
No interest.
That's amazing. So when, let's say we were able to raise, for my hair salon, I was able to raise $1,500. My friends and family contributed that. Does the city or the Kiva program match that $1,500? Do I get another? How does that work?
Yes, it's matched. So I don't administer the program, so I can't tell you if it's a dollar for dollar match or if you have to raise a percentage and then they give you the rest.
Yeah.
I don't have that level of specificity at this point in time.
Yeah.
But I do know that you have to crowdfund a portion in order to establish the credibility before you get the rest of the loan.
The really cool thing is that there is additional dollars out there. If it is 50 cents on the dollar match or a dollar for dollar match, there's additional funds that people can tap into. And now is the time. Is the city's Office of Wealth Building open right now? Can people reach out to you all and get support?
Absolutely. Listen, I'm working harder from home, and right now I came over to my center to drop some equipment, some materials off. So I'm actually at City Hall, well, at Fitzhugh Street, right across the street from City Hall. So I'm actually at work right now dropping off materials and figured I'd take this here. But listen, I'm working, instead of a normal 8-hour shift, I'm probably working 10 to 12 hours a day because going live at 8 o'clock, 7:30, right? Yeah. I've been doing that a lot, and I get on calls as early as 9 o'clock, 9:30. And really, Zoom and these other video conferencing features are amazing because this is the kind of community outreach that so many organizations claim they want to do to coalesce with people. Yeah. And prior to this pandemic, many of us weren't using these technologies like this. Right. And so it's a beautiful thing. I got a office cell phone number that I give out to our folks. No problem. 585-429-0268. You can email me. I'm active. So my staff is active. So yeah, we're here.
That is fantastic. Listen, folks, we would love to be able to answer any questions that you have. So I'm going to bring Shantelle and Brandy back into the studio, and we're here to take your questions. If you have questions about building your own business, if you have questions for Lomax about Kiva, please share those questions. We'd love to hear from you guys. One question that I do have for both of the ladies is, do you guys plan to expand? What does that look like for you guys?
Shant, you want to go first?
You
got on mute.
Can you hear me? Mic check 1 2.
We got you, sis. We got you.
Thank you. Okay, so for me, expanding would look like just getting my brick and mortar to, well, more so have a prep kitchen for my food truck. That's something I'm pursuing in the near future, like in the next 6 to 9 months. So that's what expanding for me would be. I don't necessarily want a restaurant, but I am pursuing a food truck.
That is awesome. The food truck. I mean, listen, I don't know about y'all, but I miss the food truck rodeo. I need.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If COVID doesn't go away for any other reason, but for the food truck rodeo, really, I like to eat. And apparently that's why my first episode on COVID Coins was about food, because your girl.
We all foodies on here.
Right. Right.
But many of us love to cook. And many of us have skills and talents that have been passed down from our grandmothers and our grandparents, our aunts and uncles, etc. And there are many dishes that we've inherited. It's our time. It's our season. It's our opportunity. So I truly believe that you have to take advantage of an opportunity within the lifetime of the opportunity. And I also believe that opportunity comes to the prepared mind. So now is the time to be preparing. Okay, so it looks like we have a question here. So let me just pull that up. Hey, lady, it says, as far as the Kiva loan, is it open to all residents of Monroe County or just city residents?
I believe we're targeting city residents with most of our offerings. Generally, either you have to have your business located in the city or you have to reside in the city.
Okay, great.
And again, to be clear, I don't administer the program, so I don't know if they've made exceptions as well for people.
Got it. Okay, great. Thank you. The next question, hey, Sean, how are you? Is there a percentage in revenue you need before considering expansion? And I think that's probably a question to the ladies in terms of the amount of income that you want to get to before you decide to jump, because the restaurant business, even in the food truck industry, is a hard business to get into. I don't know, Lomax, if you know of a percentage, if there are industry standards that you can share.
Yeah. So first off, I got to shout out the doc over there, Dr. Nelms. What up, brother? And I got to shout out Brandy over here because that's my sister girl.
Yes.
She act like she don't know me, but it's okay.
No, Lomax, I love you. You know you my brother.
So interestingly, my doctorate degree is actually in management. So these types of things are discussed in the field. It really is industry specific, and it's also based on the market opportunity. So expansion can look a number of ways. If you have a food truck right now, sis, you may say getting a second food truck on the road is expansion. And the reason why you would do that, let's say, is because you've noticed during festival season, there's more than one thing going on at once, and you can't be in two places at once. So if you were able to get a trusted fellow chef on board to manage a second truck, that may justify the decision to jump. Your percentage revenue increase in that instance is irrelevant relative to the opportunity to make more money for your business. Expansion might say, okay, I got my food truck, but now I want to pre-make some things, freeze them, and put them in Hagedorn's or Wegmans or some other places. And so the percentage of revenue is irrelevant to that because it's really based on the opportunity to get into the stores.
Yeah.
That's really good feedback. And I think the really important thing to note here is that we do have an office within the city of Rochester that is geared toward helping people to make these kind of decisions. Is expansion necessary right now? And what does expansion look like for me and my particular business and my particular industry? So great follow-up. So we got another question from my girl, Martha. Hey girl, how you doing? She's asking, would you be willing to experiment with making curry shrimp rolls? She's asking for a friend.
I know how that goes. We actually are experimenting with a curry recipe. It is not shrimp, but it is a curry recipe.
Cool. Awesome. So you're going to have to put that up on Facebook, put it in the link. That sounds, listen, I'm telling you, I'm going to be fat messing around with y'all. Okay.
You may have to start a custom order line.
Right. Exactly. So Brandy says she's making them now. Okay. Check the feed. Here's my boo. Hey boo, how you doing?
Here's my brother right there.
Brandy, can you make banana pudding without bananas? Is that a thing?
That is a thing. Because I made some for Sean. So yes, people can put in a request to not have any bananas. Some people prefer it. It's weird. Some people are like, oh, but it's not going to taste the same because it doesn't have the actual bananas in it. But the way that I make it, without revealing how I make it, you can still have that banana taste without the actual bananas. Because, at a certain point, the bananas do start to ripen within, the pudding. So some people don't like that, and it does change the texture. So yes, you can order the banana pudding without actual bananas.
What's the shelf life on banana pudding? I've always been curious about that.
Well, it depends. So generally, I would say if you keep it in the refrigerator, you cannot leave it out overnight. Please don't leave it out overnight. But if you leave it in the refrigerator, it should typically last about 4 days, like between 4 and 5 days.
Cool. That's great. Yeah. And I don't know.
But usually it's gone before then.
I don't know how many people got your banana pudding. It's about 4 hours. And then it's gone. Okay. So shout out to you, Lomax, from your boy, Sean Nels. He said, you are smart. His friend.
Oh, that's funny. You know, it's real when they say it twice.
You gotta say it twice.
I'm not smart. I'm smart though.
Right. So we have another serious question from Martha. I'm sorry, the questions are rolling in. She wanted to know, could you talk about combating fear in the startup? That's for you, ladies. Brandy, why don't you take that question and then we can go to Sean, because that's real. Sean said something earlier that really stuck with me. She said we have to be comfortable being uncomfortable, and when you want to start a business, you absolutely have to be comfortable being uncomfortable. You want to talk about that, Brandy?
Yeah. So when I first started the business, and coincidentally enough, Layla J. Sweets is actually my children's middle names. And so I was like, okay, I need to come up with something that's a little bit more creative, right? And so I figured this is something that's authentic and original to me. And I wanted to really hopefully be a business where my children would inherit this as well, and that they would continue. Yeah. But even when I was thinking through this business, I'm just like, nobody gonna buy my pudding. Like I'm unknown to the bakery world. I'm what can I really give? So honestly, I had to get over that self-doubt. And I really just had to say, you know what, Lord, just provide me with the wisdom to be able to get this pudding out and just see where it goes. I literally had to take a leap of faith with this. And thankfully, it has been successful. I've seen more success, now than I did when I started 2 years ago. But I think that's the other part too. You got to have a level of grit, and you got to be able to accept the failures and the setbacks, and not allow that to deter you from the end goal. And then also getting out of the stage of procrastination and excuses. Because anytime somebody would come and they were like, oh, you're going to make your pudding? Like, oh, y'all don't want none. Like, it's not that good. And I would do a lot of self-sabotaging, but I would mask it as excuses or like, the procrastination piece. And I'm just like, okay, Brady, get out of your own way. Just see how this goes. And fortunately, I did. And then, now we have it where people are placing, regular orders. So I would just say, really trust yourself. Trust yourself. You're just going to have to take that leap and be like, you know what? It is what it is. If it fails, I'm okay. If it's successful, I'm okay. Yeah.
There you go. Lomax.
Yeah. If I can just piggyback, this whole country was founded on this idea of being willing to take risks, right? And the reality of it is to be an entrepreneur means to be a calculated risk taker. If you're gainfully employed and you make enough to invest in, your hobby, and you just want to try it out with the folks at church, friends, family, hey, taste this, or we're going to host a gathering, want you to try this. That's really where you're beginning to cultivate your market to see if there's an opportunity for your hobby, right? And a lot of folks take that next step where they may do dinners every once in a while, or on special occasions like Brandy may provide their thing. You're not really jumping out there until you either get a storefront or spend thousands of dollars to get a cart or something like that.
Right.
So, really just easing into it instead of saying, I'm going to take my refund check, and spend like 10 grand. Like, don't do that.
Right.
Don't do that until you're ready.
No, pay your bills first, people.
Pay your bills.
Okay. I think one other place that people can start small. If you belong to a church or a ministry of some kind, if your church will allow you to sell your resources there. Even getting a stand at the public market. This is something that you can split a booth and share, and split the overhead costs so that your net proceeds are coming back, so you can build that back into the business. There is a comment to get a small kiosk at the public market and test it out that way. Yes, we're on the same page.
What up, Ray?
There was another comment from Ray a little bit earlier about y'all can see I'm new at this. I'm trying to figure it out. Okay, y'all there with your girl as she going through the comments. Ray said you need a kiosk at Le Marqueta, the international market, which is
La Marqueta. Yeah.
Le Marqueta. Yes, thank you for that pronunciation. But there's a lot of opportunity to just start small, start where you are, so that you don't burn any bridges, you don't bury yourself in unnecessary debt, you're not taking away from your household like these ladies are doing right now. They're starting small, but they're seeing that there's great viability in the product that they have. Smooth and steady wins the race. So I just want to thank you guys all for being here, and it's just such an honor that you guys said yes to time out of your evenings. I know we all got some time, except for my brother up here, Lomax, because
Right.
like a Hebrew slave. Most
Hey, like an African bushman.
Tell the city to stop making you work 10 hours a day, okay? Freedom is ours. All right.
Order you a pan of pudding, Lomax. Order you a pan of pudding.
I take it.
So I just thank you guys for being here, and I thank all of the viewers for watching and for listening. This has been so much fun. We're going to continue to do many more lives. Like I said, you can meet your girl back here. I'm your host, LaShonda Leslie Smith, and I will be here every Wednesday night at 7:30 p.m. I pray that you all will join me, get to know me. Let's have some fun together. Let's grow together. This was Epic Live, where we learn to live life and life more abundantly.